Diane Hamilton introduces Under My Roof, an app to help you do a home inventory and get everything in your home under control. This is MacVoices. MacVoices is supported by 1Password Extended Access Management. It is security for the way we work today. Find out more at onepassword.com/MacVoices. Welcome to MacVoices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, today is a fun day for me because I get to reconnect with an old friend, someone I met, I can't believe it, at the very last Macworld, as I recall, and that tells you how long ago it has been. But she is back with, I guess it's an old product that is new or a new product that's old. I'm not sure. Diane Hamilton is here of Under My Roof. Diane, it's great to see you again.
It is so good to see you again. 10 years. It's been 10 years.
No, you weren't supposed to tell them that. No.
Well, since we first met.
Okay, 10 years since we first met. Yeah. But it's hard to believe that the time has gone fast that quick.
It has gone so fast. Can't believe it.
Well, so I introduced what you have now as, maybe it's a new product, maybe it's an old product. I'm going to let you tell us about the evolution of what is now known as Under My Roof.
Right. So, Under My Roof really is a rethink of our original app, Home Inventory, which we have talked with you before about on previous episodes. And it's really the next generation and the progression of a app to help you with some things around the house, such as insurance requirements. That was a big focus of Home Inventory, and really tracking collections, and which that's how it started when Kevin first developed it back in 2005. Through the years, we started using Home Inventory in so many different ways. You think about it, it has a lot of data in it, but the app itself wasn't really designed for all the different ways of using that data. And we really re-envisioned what this type of app could do for you and really turned it into a complete home management app. So it still has all of your insurance focused features, and adding to that now, it's really about taking care of everything under your roof, a one-stop shop, a one-stop place for you to have every detail that you may need at any point, and being able to stay on top of things such as maintenance and any changes or remodels or changes you've made to your things. So it's stuff related, still stuff related and based on an inventory, but expands on top of that. And then all kinds of really design interfaces for helping you around the house, whether it's moving. There's a moving box interface. We've really beefed up the insurance features, total home management, maintenance alerts. You can track history. When did I do this? When did I do that? Oh, and household supplies. So everything under my roof, we help you with your home and the things in it.
Okay, so I definitely want to go back and hit some other things, but I have to ask about that last comment, home supplies. What comes is in that category? Are you talking about to make sure I have enough salt for the driveway when it snows, or is that a little too granular?
Yeah, that's a great use for it. Others, batteries. Do I have batteries for my smoke detectors? You can track your maintenance and say, I change those once a year. Well, I can associate the battery supplies with that maintenance task, and I'll know immediately if when I might be low on that supply, so I can be ahead of the curve when it's time to do that. My favorite way to use household supplies, and this is really one of the areas it came from, is HVAC filters. You have to change those on a regular basis for your air conditioning and heating unit to function properly and to work the best it can. Well, what size is it? Do I have any in the garage or in the basement or wherever I store them? We have 3 different sizes that we have to get, and I was tired of always going to change them and either not having them or being at the store and knowing I need them but have no idea what size I need to get. So things like that. Yes.
That's the air filters are a much better example because you're right. I have to change mine, and it seems like everybody always has a different size. And
Yes.
you realize it's time to change the air filters. You think about it. You go into the hardware store, and it's like, oh, I have no idea what size it is.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So listen, we have to go back to the insurance bit a little
Yes.
because we've just seen some horrendous weather events on the East Coast, and I know you and I have been talking about this since day one, since the first time
Yes.
we met, about how important it is to try to organize things and document them. And you said that you've beefed up a lot of those capabilities. Can you give us an idea
Yes.
of what kind of beefing you've done?
Yes, I would love to share that. Uh, just like many of the features in this app under my roof, it came out of a personal need. 2 years ago, 2022, we experienced a water leak on the first floor in the kitchen. And we had just released Under My Roof in 2021. And we had the insurance features, do I have enough insurance? Are there holes in my coverage? That was brought all that was brought to Under My Roof from Home Inventory, where we were really frustrated with the whole recovery process was having to track all the different things that are going on when you go through the claims process and the recovery and rebuild process. We ended up having to gut our first floor, a lot of it. And, it was a 9-month process. So it was during that time that we pivoted from what we were doing with Under My Roof, and we said, we need help with this. So let's figure this out and see how we can help with this process and with, just really being able to follow it and track and know what's been done, what hasn't been done, what's covered, what's not covered. Who did I talk to this week? How much have I paid out of pocket already? How much has insurance covered? So yeah, that's one big area where we have done a lot of addition on the insurance side of things.
Okay, so I love that, and that's a phenomenal idea. The tracking aspect. I mean, it's one thing to do a home inventory, and you definitely
Mhm.
need that for insurance purposes as well as maybe
Yes,
just
absolutely.
lots of purposes. But the idea of being
Mhm.
able to then track, because it's something that we should all do whenever we're interacting with service personnel. Who said what,
Yes.
when, on what day, what was promised, and if you
Mhm.
have the documentation, you're not relying on your memory, which is for all of us notoriously bad because it's so biased.
Right.
Once we write it
Mhm.
down, we're still the
Mhm.
authors, but at least we have a better idea.
Right, and it's things like photos, before and after photos. It's tracking the actual repairs and the parts, the receipts that come out of that, being able it just, all the different aspects, the damages that were done. Um, and tying that to the different items and rooms in your home. So it's a full circle. You can go from the insurance aspect back to your belongings, or you just start at the belongings and go, well, was this covered in a claim? Is it covered? Is it, is it part of this? So just kind of full circle, tying that up and yeah.
That's again, that's really interesting. I really like that idea. And it seems now, in hindsight, it seems like such a
Right.
logical progression, but it's too bad that you
Mhm.
had to go through that 9-month ordeal to be
Right.
inspired to recognize the need.
Yes. Yes. And I think it's really, really helpful. And we've done the same with warranties. So the same claims process, if you go through a warranty, say for your iPhone or your refrigerator or anything like that, there's still things that you need to provide. So you have that place for storing all that documentation, your warranty documentation, just like your insurance policies and the coverage details. You can do all of that in the app. Um, but now you have a way to follow any claims on either.
Do you advocate a particular methodology for getting that initial inventory done? Is it something, I mean, do you have any guides that take you through that or suggestions on how to proceed? Because that
But
right away, somebody's going to say, man,
Mhm.
you're talking about a lot of information to get into this
Right,
service.
right. So, yeah, we definitely have recommendations. The first part of the, user guide that we supply has some guidelines and some tips. And, it's you start small. You start small because it you start with the big items, the more expensive items in your home, your appliances, maybe jewelry, things that are of value that may be more than your average coverage. You start and the things that you want to keep the documentation for. You want the receipt for the warranty on the washer and dryer. You need that information. So you start with those big items and you go slow and you go room by room. If your goal is to take a complete home inventory, a lot of times the best way to start is as you're making purchases. At that point, that's where you start. You start adding in. There's so many ways to get the information into the app, whether it's sending a e-receipt to the inbox so you have it there when you build out your inventory, or scanning the barcode as you're checking out of the store and adding the information automatically right there. We do have a little bit of ML and object recognition. We have room scan. So, it's about just taking that first step. And and it really depends on the purposes. Um, Insurance is absolutely a huge benefit to having that information, whether it be on the front end, knowing how much you need, are you adequately insured? And then on the back end, if you ever have to go through the claims process, uh, you know, heaven forbid, if you do run into um, damage or destruction, well, that's why we have insurance. So on that side, it really does help with the recovery process. And I think it's good for the insurer and the insured.
So that took me to exactly where I wanted to go. We're
Oh,
talking a lot
well,
about
great.
we're talking about getting the information in. How do we get the information out, especially in the event of a need like an insurance claim?
Right, right. There's a number of ways. The best way is through the reporting feature. It's very robust, very customizable. And it can be easy as running a report, listing all the details of your home and its contents with photos, with, so you have the proof of possession that you often need. You have the proof of purchase with receipts. So that can all be handed over to your insurer. You can also export the data to Excel. So there's a number of ways you can export any of the attachments, the photos, the receipts, that type of thing, those things. But the reporting is the best way. It's all right there. You save it to PDF. You can send it out. That's how we did it, and yeah, no, it works well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate that every insurance company, it seems, has their own forms to fill out. And
we have tried.
Yeah, I'm sure.
We've tried to reach out, and I would so love to just be part of something to create standards for that, because it's true. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but again, if you can be flexible enough, even if you have to hand transpose, and if you can give them something in an organized fashion that makes sense most of the time,
yes,
I think they're going to work with you.
Right.
So the next question I have to ask, it seems like it's something we ask every interview with every developer. If I'm putting a home inventory together, I'm potentially giving a thief a great little inventory of what they can steal. So how private is my information? How secure is my information when I put it into under my roof?
I am so glad you asked that. Just with, as was with home inventory, privacy is paramount to how we design our apps, especially under my roof. Your data is yours. No one but you has access to it. We design the app in such a way that we are using or syncing the data, if you choose to sync, using iCloud. So your data is stored in your personal iCloud storage. We don't have access to it. Third parties don't have access to it. It's just like all the other data on your device that uses iCloud storage. We did implement a sharing feature so that you can share your inventory with a family member, or if you really wanted, with your insurer. That's possible, but you're sharing it via what's called an application container within CloudKit, the storage within iCloud. So that is your personal data container that app developers can use to store their data. Again, you're the only one with access. You're the only one that can give somebody else access. And when they give you access, you're not the data is downloaded to your device. Once that access is removed, the data is gone. So you can give access, you can remove access. You don't have to give anybody access. But we also designed it in a way that, we're using iCloud, we're using CloudKit for data storage. We're not using a third-party storage like AWS or the other types of providers. And not only does that mean, that things are as private as they can be, we don't have the back end to secure. We don't have the back end to manage. We don't have, things that you need expertise and to do that and an additional resources to do that. We let Apple do that. They're the best company on earth for privacy, right? That is core to their DNA. So your data is yours.
Today's Mac Voices is supported by 1Password Extended Access Management. Security for the way we work today. Find out more at onepassword.com/MacVoices. Wouldn't it be nice if everyone played by the rules? It would be even better if you were the one making those rules. That fantasy can now become true if you have 1Password Extended Access Management as your solution for managing and securing all of those various devices and apps in your organization. 1Password Extended Access Management is the first security solution that brings all these unmanaged devices, apps, and identities under your control. It ensures that every user credential is strong and protected, every device is known and healthy, and every app is visible. No more shadow IT apps lurking around your systems, putting your data at risk. No more unmanaged apps. No more non-employee identities making you wonder just who has access to the keys to your company. You need to know more so you can do more to protect your data. You need to know about 1Password Extended Access Management. So visit onepassword.com/MacVoices. That's the number 1, the word password, /MacVoices. onepassword.com/MacVoices. Thanks to 1Password Extended Access Management for supporting MacVoices. I like that approach. Obviously, we talk about it a lot here on MacVoices about how much we trust Apple as opposed to some of the other options. In fact, pretty much all the other options out there. But I really like the idea that you've made a specific decision not to try to become a security company, to leave security to someone that has the resources and has the expertise. And you are spending your time developing an app to make life easier and better for the users.
Absolutely. Because yes, it's technically possible. We could go do our own storage, but it's never going to be as safe or as secure.
Somewhere along the way there, you mentioned as capturing things and sending them to the inbox. So can you elaborate on what what inbox means to you?
So it's really a holding place. Say, for instance, I go, I'll give you a real life example. I ordered my new iPhone, which I finally got one this year. I'm usually the one who doesn't get one. So I was very excited about that. And when I ordered it, I sent the receipt, the online receipt that I got, to under my roof using the inbox plugin, so that is sitting in an area and under my roof where I can go to, and when I physically receive the phone, I can scan the barcode on. Well, I scanned the barcode on the packaging, automatically added the phone to my inventory, and the receipt was already there. I just attached it from the inbox to the item.
Okay, so sorry, go ahead.
You can also use it, and say you have decided I'm going to update my inventory once a month. I'm going to send all my receipts to the inbox, and then I'm going to go sit down for a few minutes and quickly add those items from that receipt, because it has all the details. I can use the capture for capturing the data on the receipts, on the receipts, and fill out the different fields. So that's another way to streamline it and to make it, this is a reminder. This purchase was important. I need to put it in.
Okay, so forgive me if I'm obsessing over this, but again, one of the big barriers I think to what we're talking about here is always going to be the data entry. So let's see, what do I have here? Okay, I'll do my iPhone. So I get, well, that's a terrible example. Let's try something else. All right, let's do this. That's something just very meaningless. Here's a pen.
Mhm.
Okay, let's
Right.
just pretend this is a really expensive pen, which it's not. But if it is, so and I buy it at the store, and am I emailing my receipt to? I mean, literally, am I emailing my receipt to Under My Roof, or am I just, if I take a photo of it? I understand the concept of the inbox. I guess I'm asking what the logistics are of how I actually get it. Better example maybe is if I order something from Amazon. I get a notification that this is my order from Amazon. How do
Right.
I get that from my inbox? Sorry, my email inbox into my Under My Roof inbox?
Right. So you take it, you share it, and um, with email, you need to open it and um, open the PDF and share it, and you'll have the inbox. The Under My Roof inbox has an option.
Through a share sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's slick. That would be even, in fact, that's even better than emailing it.
Mm-hmm. And
Because
there's a
that way
couple of apps that don't support that, but you can do it through the print. So you go to the print, open in PDF, and then you can do it from there. So just
Okay.
share it like that. So there are a couple apps that may have one extra step, but it is super simple. And then it's there and you don't have to worry about it. And it's really meant for those online purchases, right? Because you have the receipt right there. If you just buy something at the store and you have a physical receipt, you can pull out your camera and do it within Under My Roof and scan the receipt. It'll pull it in, and then you can just pick off the information off of the receipt right there and enter it. It'll enter it into the fields.
I would think this whole process has become so much easier with iPhones and iPads.
Yes.
That because it's almost a one-stop shop. You take the photo,
Yes.
you can enter the information right there, and if you're in your living room, you don't have to go and then drag it over to take that information over to the desk and input it. You just stick it right in.
Right. Yes, and it's a game changer. We have wanted to bring home inventory to the iPhone and iPad for years. Our stumbling block was always sync. Using core data on the Mac as the data store, and then we would have had to create our own storage for syncing, so it could sync to the iPhone and iPad, and we didn't want to do that. In 2019, Apple came out with CloudKit core data mirroring, which was their answer to syncing a core data database, basically, with iCloud. We were absolutely thrilled. Now we can go to the different devices. Now we're going to rewrite Home Inventory. Home Inventory 4 is going to come out, and we're going to run on all the devices. Perfect. We got where we were ready to go to beta, and this was 2021. Sorry if I'm getting too far in the weeds. Just let me go.
No,
I
it's
mean, just
fascinating.
let me know. We were ready to go beta 2020, summer of 2020, and Kevin and I sat down and we had a really tough discussion. We had two areas that weren't ready, and one of that we weren't happy with the way it was working. One of those was sync. The process, while it works, was extremely you're blind to it. If anything goes on, if anything breaks, you as the developer, you have no visibility into the workings and what may have happened. So we couldn't guarantee um, fault tolerance, basically, and we couldn't guarantee that when something went wrong, we could find it, what it actually was. So at that point, we decided we're going to go ahead and create our own sync engine. And I should say, Kevin created this sync engine. That was not me. Now, I tested it, but he really did. We both have experience in enterprise software. In fact, he developed a managed file transfer product for a previous software company we worked for. So we know how important fault tolerance is. We know how important visibility into the workings of something so complicated is for keeping our customers up and running and being able to help them, because things will happen. So we rewrote that, brought in visibility, still using CloudKit storage. So the user's own private database, their own private data store, and CloudKit, but we created our own sync engine before it. And then we were happy. And then we could log what was going on. We could catch things before there were issues. So that was a game changer. And then sharing, the way we had originally designed it, did not allow for sharing of your database. And it was a very much requested feature with home inventory. So when we rewrote the sync engine, and using the application containers, we designed it in a way that we could implement sharing. So another year goes by, and that's when we finally released it. But yeah, that was kind of a long-winded answer to syncing and being able to use any device. It is a game changer. You can be at the store, know exactly what you need, or, the newest is measurements, having measurements of your floors and your walls if you're going to buy carpet or, going to buy paint. You don't want to have to come home and measure. You can have that in there. And we implemented automatic capturing the measurements and area of a room with room scan, with room plan, and we put it into our feature room scan. So that's another way. Just being able to go from device to device has just been wonderful.
Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with MacVoices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices, or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.